Today I'm going to show you how to make rustic manicotti, and Michelle and I learned how to make this recipe at the U of R Culinary Arts Center. And the trick to it is to use these no boiling lasagna sheets. You can make your own pasta, but we opted to use these sheets instead. And they're great, and you just slide them into hot tap water one at a time. Make sure you do it one at a time so they don't stick. And let them soak for about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, now that my noodles are soaking, I'm going to make the filling. And I'm making a big batch today because Michelle and I are going to split it for our families today for supper. So you take ricotta cheese, Parmesan, mozzarella, and this is just kind of a plain cheese filling. Then I'm going to add some egg. It keeps it all together. And some herbs. And I do like to use the fresh basil and the fresh Italian flat leaf parsley, which is more flavorful than the curly parsley. I never really buy the curly parsley. I always use the flat leaf. Okay, and I'm just going to mix this together. And now I'm going to just season it with some salt. Okay, now I'm going to assemble the manicotti, and I made some sauce last night, but you can just use a jarred sauce. Okay, now I'm going to show you the trick to assembling the manicotti, and I use a Ziploc bag. You can use a pastry bag, but this works just fine. I like to use the freezer bags because they're a little sturdier and heavy duty, and so the seam won't bust while you're piping the cheese on the shells. So I'm going to put about half in the bag. Make sure all the air is out. And then I'm going to just cut a little bit off the end. Just like that, so the cheese will come right out. Okay, and I'm going to take my noodles, which are nice and soft now. See, they're nice and soft. And I'm going to lay them on my cutting board and just pipe the cheese right down the center. And I usually do 2 strips of cheese. And the nice thing about the name of these, which is Rustic Manicotti, is they do not need to be perfect. The cheese comes out the side a little, it's no problem. So you just wrap them like little cylinders and lay them on the sauce in your pan. Now that I've filled all of my shells, by the way, this is much easier to fill these shells than the manicotti tubes. I am going to cut them down the center, just because I think it's easier to serve when they're cut. Now I'm going to add sauce right on top. And then I'm going to take them out when they're nice and bubbly, after about 30 minutes, and sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top, and then broil. I'm going to broil them for a couple minutes to get them kind of brown on top. And you have rustic manicotti to serve your family for supper.